On your left.
Avengers! Assemble.
It is 6:57 a.m. on Sunday, August 25th, 2019. I am here at the Anaheim Convention Center in beautiful Anaheim, California, to attend the D23 Expo 2019. So at first I tried to get a press pass to D23 this year. I guess they figured I didn't have enough subscribers to be deemed an influencer, which, fair enough, I don't want to unduly influence anyone. But by the time I got the email back that I wasn't getting a press pass, Saturday was already sold out. Friday and Sunday were the only 2 days available, and Sunday was pretty much the only day I cared about between those two, because that is the day of the Parks panel, which begins at 10:30 in Hall D23. So unfortunately, when I tried to get a reservation for the Parks panel, the reservation system kind of screwed us over because Disney doesn't know how to run a con. They told us, okay, on this Friday at noon, go to this website and you'll be able to make reservations for all the panels. I got there at noon and they said, we're having server problems, we'll begin at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. rolls around and they're like, the server problems were worse than we expected. We'll do this tomorrow at noon. So right away, not a great start. Then the next day at noon rolls around. I get to the site at like 11:45. There's a splash page saying, okay, as soon as we begin, start refreshing your page and you'll be directed to the virtual queue where you can, make reservations first come, first served. So I'm thinking, okay, when they begin, that's probably noon because that was the posted time. Well, silly me, they started letting people line up for the virtual queue like 10 minutes earlier. So I refreshed the page at 11:58, and I'm so far back in the line that it takes me literally over an hour to get to the front of the line where I can make reservations, and all the big panels are sold out, including the Parks panel. I asked people on Twitter and on my YouTube channel, if you're willing to let me be your +1, please let me know, because that's the other thing. They gave everyone +1s to all the panels, regardless of whether you asked for it or not. I guess that's why they sold out so fast. I don't know. Luckily, I was able to find someone. A woman by the name of Catherine was very kind enough to let me be your +1. I'm sure you'll meet her later. Thank you, Catherine. So downstairs in Hall E, the standby queue is already a mile long of people waiting to hopefully get into the Parks panel. One such person in that line is my camera person, Ian, right here. Ian Clark.
Hi, I've been in things.
I know it looks like he's running camera for me, but he's actually waiting downstairs in the queue. It's fascinating, things they can do nowadays. But you might be asking, Tony, why did you come to the Anaheim Convention Center in beautiful Anaheim, California at such an ungodly early hour of the morning if your reservation is already taken care of? Well, last time I did this, you might remember a couple years ago at D23 Expo 2017. I shot a vlog then as well. And they had issues with letting people into the building. They were keeping people in a huge crowd, in a cluster, outside the convention center in the boiling hot sun for no discernible reason, and the only way to avoid that was to get here super early and just chill in the convention center on one of these comfortable benches for a while. I didn't know whether or not I'd have to do that this year, but better safe than sorry, right? So anyway, now all that's left to do is find something to occupy my time until there's something for me to do. Maybe I'll torture Ian.
Oh God, no, please.
So I am here with Catherine Walsh, who has very, very kindly allowed me to be her +1 to the Parks panel. Very kind of you.
Welcome.
You have a podcast, don't you?
Yes, we do. We're WDW Happy Hour. It is a podcast all about drinking in Disney World.
Ah.
Yes.
And generally being an adult in Disney World.
Yes.
So a direct rebuke to that stupid New York Post
Childless
article.
millennials.
They're angry when we destroy industries. They're angry when we support industry. When will we learn the correct amount of industries to kill? We're currently in line to wait in line. That's how these cons work. We're being herded into a line so we can figure out which line we're going to be herded into to actually get into the panel. It's D23, ladies and gentlemen. So Catherine, as we sit here on the cold, hard granite marble floor, whatever this is.
Granite marble.
Yes.
They really up the budget.
So comfortable,
Yes.
isn't it? I guess we may as well talk about our preconceptions of what we think and what we hope they'll announce at this thing. Now, they already announced a couple of things. The big announcement so far this con was, of course, Avengers Campus. The Marvel Land at DCA on the former spot of A Bug's Land is going to become a campus where young Avengers get recruited and trained for avenging, I suppose. The big e-ticket that is going to Avengers Campus is a Spider-Man ride. Great timing, guys! So maybe in this panel we'll get the title of the Spider-Man ride, maybe we'll get the basic story concept, maybe we'll get some concept art, maybe they'll reveal the general opening season for it, maybe they'll reveal more details about the Doctor Strange live show or the Ant-Man microbrewery that are coming there, or maybe even the Avengers e-ticket that's eventually going to open on the last bit of parking lot they still have right behind what used to be the Tower of Terror. It's so bold of the collector to just, you know, snatch the Guardians who fought alongside the Avengers and just, you know, keep them captive right next to Avengers Campus. Such a bold move. Maybe they'll reveal more details about the Paris version of Avengers Campus. I think in like a week they're shutting down the Rock and Roller Coaster in Paris, and that's going to become an Iron Man Avengers roller coaster type of thing. They also revealed here at D23 that the Tron coaster coming to the Magic Kingdom is going to be called the Tron Light Cycle Run, as opposed to in Shanghai where it's called the Tron Light Cycle Power Run, because Americans don't like to read. Like, as many words you can just simplify it for Americans. Pretty soon it's just gonna be Space Mount. Big Thunder Mountain's just Big Mountain. That's what it's gonna be. As opposed to all those small mountains that can go to hell as far as I'm concerned. And they revealed that the Star Wars Hotel coming to Florida will be called the Star Wars Galactic Cruiser. That should be a lot of fun. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm really excited about this. The price point, it almost feels like a Disney cruise, like it's going to be in that tier, but I'm really excited about that. The rooms hold 5, I believe, so I definitely want to make sure I had a solid group to split that cost with.
They announced a lot of stuff at D23 2017 that has still yet to open. For example, the Guardians coaster at Epcot. That's being built. We still don't have a title for it. Maybe they'll reveal the title at this panel. Maybe they'll reveal the basic story, like what the Guardians are doing at Epcot in the first place. And then, of course, there's Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which was announced in 2017 for Hollywood Studios. Since then, they've announced that it's also being cloned at Toontown at Disneyland. I know the Florida version was gonna open this year, and stuff went wrong, and it was delayed till spring 2020. We've heard 2022 is a rough estimate for the Toontown version. Maybe they'll have an update on that. They also said last time that Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway would have a song. Maybe they'll world premiere that song.
Oh, I'd love to hear that.
That would be amazing.
They showed the costumes. Did you see the cast member outfits?
No, I haven't seen that.
They're a very great movie ride, reminiscent. Cool. They have like the Growlman. They remind me a lot of the old cast costumes.
Nice. Are we going to get updates on the Mission Space Restaurant and/or the Circle Vision China new film? Because both of those were announced in 2017, and we haven't heard that much about them since.
I don't think we'll get nearly as much new information as we did in 2017. I think we'll be getting a lot of updates, but what I'm most excited about is I want to know something that hasn't been leaked at all. That's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Maybe we'll finally get some news about Imagination. Maybe we'll finally get a replacement for the Figment ride at long last. Come on!
I want to get some Inside Out.
Inside Out. Or actually, what I think should replace Imagination is a Mary Poppins ride. Theme it around the song "Can You Imagine That?" I'm sure they'll talk about the massive refurbishments that are coming to Epcot pretty soon. They've already announced Journey of Water, the Moana walkthrough attraction that's coming kind of in between the land and the seas, because Lord knows Epcot doesn't have enough walking in it.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Maybe we'll get details on Epcot's new nighttime spectacular, or the Spaceship Earth refurbishments, or what the new entrance will look like, or what the hell the Play Pavilion is. That would be nice.
I think we're going to get some new pavilions today. I think that's going to be announced. Upstairs on the floor, we have the announced on Sunday coverage, Thinking of Brazil Pavilion. That's all but been confirmed. I think we'll see that today, but there is another one that is covered up, and I'm not sure what that could be.
I would absolutely welcome a Brazil pavilion. The problem is, nowadays everything at the park is themed to IPs. what IPs do they have that could fit into Brazil? I mean, they're Three Caballeros, but they already have a Three Caballeros ride in Mexico.
Saludos Amigos.
Maybe they'll pull like a frozen DCA thing and open a new Three Caballeros ride at the Brazil Pavilion and change the Mexico ride to a Coco ride. Maybe we'll finally get some news on the Imagination Pavilion. Maybe announce something that'll replace the Figment ride. That'd be nice. Don't you agree? That'd be nice. Replace the Figment. The Eric Idle Abomination has been there longer than the original, but you know. We are joined by a wild Ian to help us talk about preconceptions of what we might be expecting at this panel. We know there's this Utopia land headed to Shanghai. Maybe they'll reveal some details about the e-ticket of that. There's also a rumor that that land might also be heading to Animal Kingdom. Maybe they'll confirm that rumor. Maybe they'll finally tell us what the hell is actually happening with that 20th Century Fox World in Malaysia. They got sued because they tried to pull out of the deal because they're like, we're Disney now, we don't need a park in Malaysia, but the Malaysian government was like, no, you signed contracts. Maybe they'll show footage from the deposition or something. I don't know. That'll be fun for the kids.
Yes.
I can't imagine they're not gonna talk about Rise of the Resistance at this panel. That's coming to Florida in December, California in January. It's just the big new thing over the horizon. We've been waiting for it for a long, long time.
I feel like something is going to be happening for us in Tomorrowland. I don't know what. I just feel like something is about to happen that is going to blow the roof off of this place. I just have this feeling, just being in the submarines for about 3 years, I was getting told how much life these things had, but how quickly they are basically deteriorating. It's a sad truth. It's a historical attraction. I'm glad that it came back, but its age literally showed within 10 years.
I saw a documentary about, you know, revitalizing the subs when Finding Nemo came out on Blu-ray. It was like a special feature, and they said when they dug the subs out of storage, they said, yeah, these things will last another 100 years.
Yeah.
Were they wrong? I mean,
I don't know.
Chlorine has gotten aggressive. Maybe we'll finally get some news about Imagination? Maybe finally learn what's gonna eventually replace the Figment ride before we all go insane and murder each other? That would be nice, wouldn't it? I guess the really exciting stuff will be the unknown unknowns, the things they'll just completely blindside us with.
Chapek went on record saying, the stuff that you know is just the beginning. We have dozens more to announce today.
But it was Chapek saying it, so I'm sure the dozens will be reduced to 10s and then to maybe like 7 and then eventually like oh, we're adding a new water fountain, basically. So it should be an exciting panel, and we can't wait. Both my feet are asleep,
I know.
and I'm jealous. I'm in the panel. I'm in the audience. They said it couldn't be done. The reservation said they were sold out. But thanks to old Catherine Walsh here, we made it happen, America. Woo! So blame her. Okay, we just got out of the parks panel. We have a lot of news to share. Maybe not quite as much as at the 2017 D23 Expo, but still some cool tidbits. Now, last time, as you might remember, I did a video to a couple of Disney princesses where I informed them of the new goings-on. This year, we're stepping up our game. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 4 Disney princesses: Aurora, Ariel, Belle, and Peep.
I'm going to say this for in general. I was kind of underwhelmed.
I was completely underwhelmed.
Certainly compared to last time. There was like a 10-minute presentation about Targets. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Okay, because this is the Parks Experiences and Products panel.
Oh.
So,
and you can tell where Chapek's apex is.
Yeah, absolutely. It was Chapek's apex. The films panel got Angelina Jolie, but we got the CEO of Target. So take that, films panel. A bunch of Target stores are going to be getting miniature Disney stores within them, like little areas.
25 across the country.
25 at first, and then they're expanding it.
More
It was so crass. They brought the dog from the Target commercials with the bullseye on its eye out. They made a lot of announcements about Epcot. The big announcement about Future World is that they're dividing it into 3 sections.
They're going to change the layout to be neighborhoods.
Yeah, World Discovery,
World Celebration,
World Celebration, and World Nature. He promised there would be lots more shade in the new Epcot, for one thing, which is
that was actually
certainly
The Heinz Spaceship Earth is going to be called Dreamer's Point. And and it will be a brand new Walt Disney statue.
Oh,
yeah.
That's really
So-
sitting.
So
Yeah.
can be
He's
looking like
sitting
that.
down.
Finally gets a load off. Got new details about the Guardians coaster. The coaster will be called Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
I'm into that.
It starts in basically a planetarium type setting, only it's called, I think, a galaxarium.
Galactarium?
A galactarium. The idea is it's this Xandarian outpost where they're teaching people at Epcot about, you know, space and how vast the galaxy is and all these other cultures. And then you're supposed to be boarded into these spaceships that take you to see the Earth from space. But then, of course, the Guardians show up and things go a little crazy.
They said it was going to be the first ride with a reverse launch.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster.
Cosmic
A
Rewind.
roller coaster with a reverse launch. It's gonna be.
For the mummy.
If you remember Volume 2, there's a scene where Yondu, Rocket, and Groot are escaping from the old Ravager ship, where they make jumps across several points of the galaxy. That has been implied in the concept art that that's how we will be traveling across the galaxy.
They
You got
devoted
the
a lot of
space
time for
restaurant,
Epcot. Space 220 is the name of the space restaurant because the idea is you are 220 miles above the Earth.
And it's literally opening before the end of the year, I believe.
Yeah, December.
Then, of course, World Nature, which is going to include the land, the seas, the new Journey of Water attraction, and presumably Imagination, which still no new Imagination ride announced. What are they doing? They announced the Ratatouille ride is opening next summer.
Oh, that's
Yes, summer 2020. They reiterated that they are doing a new Circle Vision show for China, which we haven't heard about for 2 years, but they reiterated, no, we are still in fact doing that. And they said they're also doing a Circle Vision show for Canada, and they said that's premiering in January.
Epcot Forever, which is the quote-unquote opening act, new
Right.
Splash Spectacular, is debuting as soon as Illuminations calls it. And then next year, I believe, is when the new show, which is now called Harmonious, emphasis on the us, is premiering. Epcot Forever is acting as the Epcot anthem sort of thing. Think of it as like the Remember Dreams Come True for Epcot, I guess you could say. And then Harmonious is acting as kind of like a world of color kind of thing, but utilizing the cultures of characters.
And then they save the biggest Epcot announcement for last. Jake Beck says, we have one more new attraction to announce, and you know, I just don't feel like I can do it justice by myself. I need someone to help me. Can anyone help me? And then, on the stage, comes a bunch of chimney sweeps.
no.
And Dick Van Dyke. Dick Van Dyke comes out, got a standing ovation, obviously.
He did a Mr. Dawes impression.
Yeah, he did this. The UK Pavilion is going to get a Mary Poppins attraction. Now, they didn't say much about it.
You'll be on Cherry Tree Lane.
Yeah,
You'll be able to walk past Admiral Boone's house.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of an adjunct to the UK Pavilion. I presume they're probably going to bulldoze Millennium Village to make way for it, which I won't miss it. The only other thing they said was that you enter the ride through 17 Cherry Tree Lane. He didn't give any other details
And they also didn't give any details of whether it's going to be set in Mary Poppins, of the original,
Yeah.
or Mary Poppins Returns. That
Right.
has not been made official yet.
Did they even mention if it was a dark ride at all?
No,
No.
they
No
did
ride
not.
details.
No ride details. We enter through 17 Cherry Tree Lane. That's all we know. I thought for sure they'd announce a new World Showcase Pavilion, the way he was building it up, but it turns out he was building up the Mary Poppins thing.
It sounds like they're incorporating more of the Disney characters into Epcot.
I kid you not, Chapek literally started the panel saying,
Yes.
and that's about putting in more Disney, Pixar, Marvel, and Lucasfilm. It's like,
Yeah.
you didn't go subtle, did you? I want to keep it very hush, but I've been working with the Resistance for a bit. Your guys are not ready for January. You are not ready to see what's
What are
about
you
to
guys
be.
talking about?
I don't know.
They showed some cool new footage and concept art of Rise of the Resistance. It looks amazing.
I thought he would go back to that. He said, we'll go back to Star Wars soon. But eventually it was for the new hotel in Florida.
Yeah, which does look cool. It's a 2-day immersive experience where, like, outside your hotel window you just see starscapes and stuff.
They
And then
kept calling it a cruise.
It looks cool. It sounds cool. I want to experience it. I will never afford it. I can never go. It sucks. It looks cool.
what are you gonna do?
New Cirque du Soleil show.
Oh yeah,
that
new
was
Cirque du
big.
Soleil
That was
show
cool.
based around Disney animation. They got Eric Goldberg out on stage to talk about how they collaborated. They didn't seem to let Eric Goldberg say all that much though.
Yeah, they announced a new feature on the My Disney Experience app called Disney Genie. It'll just plan your day out for you. It could make or cancel reservations at dining places for you.
Yes, and it would wrap your fast passes and dining.
It's basically what I do every time I go to the park in my head, only as an algorithm. So basically, make of that what you will. They showed some really cool concept art of the exterior of Runaway Railway in Toontown. You're going to enter through a movie theater called the El Capitan. That is opening in Florida next year and in Toontown in 2022.
I thought for sure that Toontown would be gone by like the next 5 years.
Apparently not.
As long as Mickey's house is there, it will always be defended by someone.
I guess so.
They talked about the new parade that's heading to Disneyland. It's called Magic Happens.
Whoa, man, you just ran through a big pile of dog.
Magic. It happens.
At least our floats don't catch on fire.
They premiered the new song. They got what looked like a Disney Channel star basically to dress up like Prince and do what sounded like a 10% funkier song from High School Musical. Certainly better than Soundsational, I'll give it that much.
Daytime parade.
I'm sure I'll get tired of the song eventually, so I can't wait.
Anything we feel.
New Spider-Man attraction that they don't have a name for yet. It's going to be opening next summer, I believe is what they said. It involves Peter Parker creating these new spider bots that unfortunately go on a rampage, and we're taking these new vehicles called, what was it, like Web Brigade's vehicles?
Web slingers.
Web slinger vehicles.
Yes, literally shooting webs from their wrists.
Bob Chapek made special mention of the fact that this was the first ever Spider-Man ride in a Disney park.
The Ant-Man themed microbrewery called Pim Test Kitchen, where they are literally enlarging and shrinking foods to all sizes. For the first time, Ant-Man and the Wasp will become greetable characters.
They better bring back Thor, Loki, Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, all of those.
Yes.
All of those are going to be there.
Speaking of one of them, there's a brand new experience in an abandoned California sanctum featuring Doctor Strange, where people will learn the mystic arts.
They teased the Avengers e-ticket that's eventually coming in Phase 2, in which, number one, you get to ride a Quinjet to Wakanda. And then things go wrong, a villain attacks, they wouldn't say which villain.
And then the next piece of concept art shows them in jetpacks flying around.
We want jetpacks.
We want jetpacks.
What, who doesn't?
And I want a Tomorrowland refurb, but we're not getting that either, are we?
Yeah, they didn't announce anything about a Tomorrowland refurb. Was there anything else we missed?
Cruise ship.
Yeah, and then they ended with some stuff
Wish.
about the cruise ship.
Does that count as park stuff?
Not really.
It's an experience.
Joe Rohde came out to talk about basically the new Aulani, which is going to be in the Bahamas, and talked about Bahamian culture. I kind of tuned out at that point. And then they ended with a bit about the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
It's a nice note to end on, but it just kind of made the whole panel like...
So basically it was the Eddie Izzard way of ending the show of kind of,
Pretty much. Especially compared to 2 years ago when it just felt like they were announcing everything. This time they were very clearly kind of stretching for time. Meanwhile, in 2013...
Anyway, he gets a personal tour of the actual animation studio Disney World used to have from actual real-life animator Mark Henn, one of the top animators of the Disney Renaissance, recipient of the Winsor McKay Lifetime Achievement Award, and now...
Coffee. Coffee's fine.
Uncle Joey's Coffee Monkey.
I have just randomly ran into the greatest celebrity cameo ever. Following in the footsteps of the Full House episode I did a video about, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mark Henn is here at the D23 Expo, one of the legends, the absolute legends of the Disney Renaissance, animator extraordinaire. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. We had a great time this morning. We did the Little Mermaid 30th anniversary spectacular.
Oh, that's terrific.
Event with Jody, and it was great.
So I guess the real question right now is, why aren't you currently fetching Uncle Joey's coffee?
Well, I think Uncle Joey's moved on.
Yeah, he's drank many coffees since then.
That's right.
Now, did you actually draw the animated segment when Joey's...
I did not.
Really?
That was handled by a couple of our animators that were there, Alex Smith and Rock Ford.
How's that? You're new at this, right?
I I did kind of a rant about how the episode merely credited you as animator.
They don't even give him an as himself credit. They just list him as animator.
Like, it didn't even say Mark Henn as himself.
As
like, I was like,
himself,
this
yeah.
guy's a legend. He deserves more than this. It's,
Well, and they cut my part down too. It was
Oh, really?
longer, yes. I had more lines to say, and they got cut down.
What else did you say in the
Well,
episode?
originally we were supposed to start outside the studio because I played, Joey and I were friends, we're like childhood friends. There was supposed to be us walking into the studio, talking, having a conversation, and then picking it up on the inside. So they eliminated the exterior shots and just went with the interior scene.
Freaking editors, man. Always cut your breath.
That's Hollywood.
Guess I was daydreaming, Mark.
Well, come on. I'll show you around.
An honor to meet you, sir. I won't take up any more of your time, but Mark Henn, everybody! Whoa! Mark freaking Henn!
Bye-bye.
Isn't it awfully great to shop at Target? Target!
This video was made possible by the very generous contributions to my Patreon. Special thanks to all my patrons, and huge special thanks in particular to Mark Aquino, Bennett Ballard, Ryan Enos, Noah Fine, Wesley Fox, Michael Hamilton, Jacob Harris, Houston Housley, Morgan Kellis, Hannah Martin, Landon McAfee, Roby Bobart Pires, Kate Quinn, Lowell Reynolds, Chris Reyna, Brett Trail, and Ed Vieira. Extra huge special thanks to Keith Baggs, super extra huge special thanks to Ryan Walterson, and super duper extra huge special thanks to executive producers Joe Goldmark and Edgar Barocho. If I mispronounced anyone's name, please send me a message letting me know. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you were at the D23 Expo this year, leave a comment telling us about your experience, and thanks for watching.
I can be loud if I want to.
Yeah, yes you can.
I can do